Caesar, you did a Mazza still, did a Mazza still, did a Mazza still, did a Mazza still.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to MazzaProductions and welcome to the first of a few episodes of a mini-series we're going to call Thursday Thoughts. In this series we're going to break down a few questions revolving around the sport of boxing, and as the title suggests, in this episode we are analysing, will we ever get a new Fight Night game? So just quickly before we get into the video, if you're new around here and do go on to enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit subscribe. Our end of month goal is 600 subscribers, so any support and any help towards that will be greatly appreciated. So at the point of recording, it's been a full decade since we last got a Fight Night game from EA, and with the limited boxing games being released in the meantime, it's been a decade which has felt like a lifetime for most boxing fans. So Fight Night Champion was the last game, which was huge for us on a personal level, as a lot of content revolving around it is being released on the channel, and also it's a game which resonates with a lot of boxing fans, whether it be the competitiveness of the online game modes, which at the time was very new to sports online gaming. It was one of the few things that actually felt real, or it could be the insanely challenging boss battle with none other than Isaac Frost, which is commonly described as one of the hardest boss battles in video game history. And for this reason, it means Fight Night Champion is a game held in high regard. It was a game which, even to this day, if you go back and play it, it's obviously backwards compatible on Xbox. The graphics are the only thing really to tell that the game is old. It was clearly way ahead of its time at the time of it being released. So why did it stop? Well, boxing went through a slump of interest in the late 2000s and early 2010s. There was many reasons why. I think the sport, technically with the recession happening, got a lot less investment than it did in previous years. And this was at the exact same time that boxing was being dominated by the Klitschkos, who, whilst being great champions, never had that box office charismatic presence. And it caused a lot of boxing fans to lose interest in a sort of sub-era, which also coincided with the meteoric rise of the MMA world, predominantly the UFC, becoming more of a globally viewed sport, should we say. And this obviously piqued the interest of Fight Night's original developers, EA, as in 2014, just 3 years after the last Fight Night came out, Fight Night Champion, EA began to release their UFC series and have done ever since. But since then, in recent times, boxing has piqued interest again with the resurgence of the heavyweight division, the future Hall of Famers, and a youthful electric lightweight division. And so with that being said, why have we not had a new Fight Night game released? I remember from around 2016, boxing's most prominent promoter, Eddie Hearn, he's been campaigning for a new Fight Night game, or just a new boxing game in general, yet we're still left without one. And in my opinion, this is predominantly just down to licensing. I mean, the UFC, all of the fighters, they are the promotional outlet, so they all compete within the UFC. So this means EA have just struck a licensing deal with they just have to strike it with the UFC, if that makes sense, for the fighters. And it's definitely a deal which probably works out much more cost efficient than it would to have a boxing game which features all the stars that are signed to all these different promotional companies like Showtime, Matchroom, etc. So I'd say it's mainly down to a licensing and financial thing, which I obviously get from a business point of view. EA tend to go for the money anyway. So in answer to the original question, I do hope we get a Fight Night, but with EA's reputation for having a simple target of maximising profits, I'm not too hopeful. A few alternative game developers over the years have tried to release boxing games that have looked promising but with minimal success. But I will say that the esports boxing club fight, which is a boxing club game which is due to be released later on this year, it's a game I'm very hopeful for. The recent trailers, screenshots, it all looks very promising. It certainly looks the most advanced boxing game we've ever seen. And even though they might not have the full roster of fighters, they certainly look like the game most likely to quench boxing fans first. And I think it's a game that I'll be happy to release content around when it's released. And I do hope, if it is good, that they reap the rewards of the success from the boxing community. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. So if you have enjoyed, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to drop a like on the video. As I said earlier, if you are new around here, please don't forget to subscribe, as we are trying to hit 600 by the end of the month. We are uploading daily for the rest of the month, so I hope we'll see you again tomorrow. So thank you for watching, guys. Take care and peace.